I've been asked several times about the tools that you need to strip down a Land Rover gearbox, notably the R380s and the LT77s. And I bought this kit quite a long time ago, and it was expensive, but it's paid for itself over and over again. I have no problems with that. But if you're just going to do one-offs, well, it's going to get expensive. So I've been asked by some guys who have machine shops what these tools actually look like so they could make them themselves. And of course you can make them themselves, it's no big deal, it's quite easy. So let's start off. This is the bad thing to get off, is this collar. It's got a groove in it and there's two oil seals run on either side. So how do you get it off? Well, you need this tool here. And it's with some adapters, and it's quite a clever little tool really. All it is a threaded bar, and inside there, I don't know if you can see, yeah, inside there there's a little ring that's clipped onto the end, and that spins round. So it's a spinny type it's a spinny type thing. And so that means that when it's on a shaft going into there, you're not turning the end of the shaft, because some gearboxes have a thread on them. So what do you need? Well, these split collars. Alright, so that goes. I'm not going to do dimensions and stuff like that because I just haven't got time to measure everything up. It's too long. That's why I'm doing this video. So how does it go together? Well, this has got a ring on here, clips into there. You put your ring onto there like that. Then you get your other half, put it like that, and this is the most important thing, your collar that goes on like that. And then by tightening up the screw, it will pull that collar off. Alright, but don't forget you must have this collar, because otherwise they'll splay apart and you'll split the tool. Now the beauty about this tool is you can use it on all sorts of different things by making different adapters. Like here, you could make one even a bit smaller for pulling other bits and pieces off. So that's quite straightforward. It's not really rocket science. Now, putting it back on again, putting the collar back on, you should never hit them, bang them back on, or warm them up and put them back on. You really should push them on, and this is the tool to push them back on with. And all it is a tube with a bar on so you can tension it, a welded on bolt on the thread, and a loose nut here. Now inside these might be a tad tricky to see, I hope you can see it, but there's a thread on the end of here. So what they've done is, I can't take it apart because from the factory they're welded on the end, so they've made this threaded part on the end, pushed it through and then welded a nut on. But to give you an idea, this is the adapter that goes in. Now look very carefully, you can see that goes into there. Now on the R380s, this screws into the end of the main shaft and this screws into the tool here, and you need that because then it'll pull it together. Now you can see I just welded two bolts together and I put a couple of flats on it, and that's why I put a little extra notch in here so that you could jam a screwdriver in and lock it up whilst you're unscrewing it. So what you do in effect is you can just see here where the threaded portion is, and sort of screw it in like that, and then when you're pulling this tight on this nut, it will draw the tool in and it will come off. There is also, when you're doing LT77s, a little cap protector that goes on the end of the thread, because the LT77 on the main shaft has an external thread, and on the R380 it's got an internal thread, so that cap goes to protect that. I use it now and again. There's also this little adapter here that you can use in conjunction with the same puller to get, I don't know, this is on LT77. I think it's to get the lay shaft off. I don't do many LT77s, to tell you the honest truth. Now when you do an LT77, you need this little bad boy, because you can't get the fifth gear off. This is a fifth gear remover. Alright, so you can see here, I'll show you this piece first. This fits around the gear, both sides, and there isn't much room because you can see how thin it is. There's not much room to get you can't get a regular puller into it. So you've got this, and that's it. I didn't have all the rest of it, so I had to improvise, and I made these pullers with two little holes in here that locate on those pins like that, look, you see. So let's just do one half, and you can see that that sits in that pin, see? Let's have a look from that side. They are notoriously difficult to put on because I use my strongback with my hydraulic, from my hydraulic puller set, and that will pull that gear off. And believe me, you just can't get bars behind it. It is tight. Everything's tight. That collar on the Land Rover is tight, and it's tight for a reason because there's no O-ring or anything like that. That grips around the shaft to stop the oil coming down the shaft. So I hope that helps. That's the setup that I have. It does cost money, like I said before, but like I say, if you're only doing 1 or 2 gearboxes, you could make that quite easy. And if you've got a lathe and bits and pieces, you could make that quite easy. Alright? So I hope that helps. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.